All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Tony, the member-only live streams are currently sort of paused. I tried them. And I only like to do things that I can do consistently. So I gave it a shot, but it's just a little too much for me. So I gotta change that. I gotta change that wording there on the YouTube membership. It was just too much, man. To live stream in the morning, then come back at night. It was just too much. It was too much. Too much out of my personal life, which I don't like to do. So, yeah, just a little update there. How's the doggy? Sitting right behind me. Sitting right behind me, right here, sleeping. Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? Yesterday was a gorgeous day. Awesome Amazon trade, awesome Google trade. Both of those trades straight from this pre-market live stream. 140 retest, Amazon, 135 demand Google. That couldn't have been cleaner. Straight from this live stream. So if you watched the live stream yesterday, those were the levels. Beautiful trades. Very happy with them yesterday. Congrats to anyone that took that. If you missed yesterday's live stream, go watch it. You will see us talk about Amazon and Google. It's just a little example of what we do here. So awesome. And I know a lot of you guys caught that in the Discord, so congrats on that one. What a trade. Larry, thank you, brother, for the $20 donation. Thanks for always supporting, Larry. I appreciate you. All right. Yeah, the Netflix 437, 438 rejection yesterday was also awesome. That was real strong, right? That was real strong. So today, big day. Big day on the market. We got some major economic news today. PPI, jobless claims, retail sales, all of it coming out this morning at 8:30. So possibly some volatility today, I hope. Yesterday, we had a strong hold of the 20 SMA on the ES on the NASDAQ. We talked about that in the live stream. As the data was coming out, you got that aggressive downside candle, which meant nothing, like we talked about. It did not break any key levels, so it was just a little volatility within the channel, and the demand held. So nice upside move yesterday. It was pretty slow. The overall move was pretty slow. I think part of the reason why the upside was pretty slow was because you're sort of getting a push and pull effect on the market right now. You're getting some stocks that are pretty strong, like Amazon, like Google, like Tesla, that are pretty strong. But then you're also having names like Apple, like Nvidia, that have been relatively weak. So it's a little bit of a push-pull effect right now, I think, on the market. At least that's my sort of generalized read of it. If Apple was not going down, I think you would be seeing much stronger upside on this NASDAQ market. But the Apple looks really weak. And I think it almost seems like money is flowing out of Apple in some regard. So Apple, again, really weak yesterday, weak again this morning as well, with some stocks actually higher in the pre-market, right? Nvidia, Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, all green pre-market. And then you got a pretty weak Apple move going on this morning. So very interesting there, right? A little bit of something to be paying attention to. Underperformance on Apple, which definitely will affect the market. It's a big part of the NASDAQ, big part of the overall market. So interesting there. Something to pay attention to for sure. All right. But besides that, some very nice economic data to be watching today. Hopefully some movement, some nice levels that are holding right now in the pre-market. So let's get started. If you guys could get those likes early. We got 1,000 people here, 200 likes. Yesterday we hit that 1,000 mark, that 1,000 like mark. So I appreciate you guys for pressing that like button. I know it's real hard. I know it's real hard to press it, but I appreciate it if you do. Yeah. Like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get the schedule going. I got to update the schedule here. 1 second. All right. Here is the updated schedule. All right. So today's the 14th, September 14th. It is Thursday. We got one more day until Friday. I want to challenge myself something, man, which I can't get myself to do. And this is like the last thing. This is like the last thing that I want to do in trading. I've done it all, right? I've became consistent trading. I've gone through the terrible times. I've gone through everything. There's one thing that I can't get myself to do, and it is to not trade on a Friday. It's very difficult. I don't care what anyone says, to just step away and to disconnect from actually taking a trade. And the data for my trades still shows that I do not perform well on a Friday. It has not changed. I know that I do not. My strategy, right? And there's actually a reason behind it. I understand why this happens. There's a reason why I don't perform as well on a Friday. The reason being is that the way that I trade, I allow the stock to move. As long as it's above my stop, I maintain positions, right? And that does not work as well on a Friday. And the reason for that is because of the nature of the option contract. So I could maybe trade common shares on a Friday because that would not affect, the way I trade. That would not be affected by the theta decay, by the dying contracts on a Friday. But for example, let's just take a quick example here, right? Google yesterday, right? This was Google yesterday. And so here's Google, right? And so yesterday, we'll talk about this later, but I want to just make the point, right? Make the point real quick. I got into Google contracts sort of early here around this general area, right? Around this 135.60 with the stop loss under 135, right? That was my trade idea. You guys, if you're in the Discord, you know that. You heard it live, right? And so this drop on 0DTE is like a 50% loss, right? That's like a 50% loss on a Friday. On a Monday, that's like a 15% loss, which is okay. And yesterday we took this trade. We ended up getting 100% on Google contracts. In this case, I probably would have been profitable on 0DTE. But if Google would have done this and then just sort of chopped here, maybe grinded a little bit higher, and then sort of came back down, right? I'm dead on a 0DTE contract. So I either trade next week's or I trade shares, but I understand, right? This is a big part of trading, guys, which, a lot of people are scared to admit. I'm not scared to admit it, and I won't be scared to admit it just because I make YouTube videos or I am a YouTube trader persona, whatever you want to call it. I'm not scared to admit where, or I think it's very important to understand the downsides of whatever you're doing. There's always a downside to your trading strategy. And that is the downside, right? On Fridays, I give stocks room. I do not panic. I'm not emotional in my trades, but I give it room, right? And sometimes on a Friday, giving it too much room will cause too much drawdown on 0DTE contracts. Also, I scale out of contracts, and sometimes on a Friday, a scale out the runner ends up actually giving back all your profits because of how big the moves are on the contracts. So yeah, it's we're zoning it in, right? We're perfecting the strategy. We're understanding what goes wrong on Fridays. And if you can't look back at your trades and you can't realize this, then this is something that you need to do, right? You need to be able to look at your strategy, what's going on, what are the trades, what's the downside, what's happening, how do I fix this? It's a business, it's a strategy, it's a system that needs to be perfected. So yeah, just a little. This type of conversation is necessary for trading, right? A lot of people don't have these conversations. They just say, "Oh, buy SPY calls. Yeah, great. I'm a great trader." Blah blah blah. There's a lot more to it. All right, there's a lot more to it. It's what if you. There's a lot more to it. Let's just say that. So, anyways, today, let's get started. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Futures economic earnings calendar. SPX, please, 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 please. SPX, please. Where do I buy it? Please tell me where I buy SPX. I need to know. I need to know exactly where I buy SPX today. All right. So, Thursday, September 14th, jobless claims, 8:30. PPI, 8:30. Retail sales, 8:30. Right? So we have all of this economic data coming out at 8:30. This is something that we're going to be watching to keep an eye out for any type of movement. That's that. Really nothing else to go up over there. Tesla 273. Big level to watch today. Nvidia, I'm in a swing trade on Nvidia to the upside. It held again. I really like it. Nvidia's up nicely in the pre-market. I'm very happy about that. Apple, really weak. We're going to talk about it. Amazon with the sexiest 140 retest you could possibly see on the market. I can't make up this Amazon move. This was the cleanest retest that you have seen in a long time. We nailed this thing. Awesome trade. Very happy about that. Meta 310, Google 135 hold, and Microsoft approaching a major supply level. So let's get started. All right. Actually, let's start with the ES because the ES was very clean yesterday. And I want to talk to you about sort of what happened. So yesterday morning, after we had PPI, right, we were talking about that 20 SMA and that 4,500 level, right? That was right around here. It was that 4,500. It was that 20 SMA. It was all these lows, all these wick lows down here in this general area, right? And we said, hey, if that ES holds that 20 SMA, you got to be careful on the short side, right? Because it maintained that level into open after CPI yesterday. It maintained it, right? And so the upside supply level was, first of all, the 45.40 and the 45.20 was also an important zone. Now, this morning, there's a very key hold that just happened this morning, right? And I want to show you what that level is. So here's the 5-minute chart on the ES this morning. The important level to be watching today is 45.20. It's this previous low right here. It's the rejections from yesterday morning, right? It's where we sort of dropped below yesterday and caused aggressive downside. And then look at this little hold here around this 45.20, 45.23 area on the ES futures. That is going to be a major level to watch today, right? If you reject today, you have to see whether this 45.20 area, either, this little pre-market low right here, and then this previous low here, these previous rejections from yesterday, right? Let's zoom into yesterday's price action. Look at where you rejected yesterday morning, right? You pushed up, Look at these rejection candles. You rejected this 45.23. You came back up. You pretty much tried to maintain it pretty much all afternoon. You failed to hold it. You fell back to the downside. So that's sort of like your middle of the road level there. And then this morning, look, you held it. You held it. So today, right, depending on what we see on this data, we're either holding, or if we get a pullback, we need to see whether this holds again, this pre-market low, or if we break below it, that could be where the downside comes in, maybe back towards that 20 SMA again, right? So 45.20s, right? We're just around 45.23, 45.22. It's sort of in that zone. That's the level I'm watching here. As long as the ES is above this 45.20, let me get this on the 15-minute, not the 1 minute. As long as the ES is above this 45.23, 45.20 zone, I do not want to be shorting this market, right? Because we can see previous rejections turned into support in the pre-market this morning, right? So as long as we're above this green zone, I am cautious of the short side on this market. The big supply level above is still the same level. It's 45.40, right? We talked about this level multiple times. 45.40, 45.40, 45.40, 45.40, and here we are again, 45.40. So today, the real upside confirmation, right, where we really where I would get aggressive to look for upside, is if the ES can break above, if the ES can break above 45.40, hold above 45.40, that would be my little upside confirmation move today. If we see that, right here, all these rejections, this previous support right there. If we get a hold above 45.40 on the ES futures, I think that is a nice possible long. That is a possible long entry there at that 45.40. That would be a long entry towards that 50 SMA 45.50 up here, about 10 points higher. Probably a little scalp there, definitely possible. You'd have to watch the 45.50 50 SMA. All right. So here's your levels today: 45.40, 45.23, 45.22, and then if you do break down below that, you still have that 20 SMA demand down here at 4,500. Right. So there is definitely, right, some clear demand levels that continue to hold this market higher. All right, you can see the 4,500 yesterday. You can see the 45.20 in the pre-market today, and then today, I guess maybe on the economic data, we're watching the 45.40 supply where we sit right now. All right. SPY, very similar. Right. Look at this SPY here. SPY, what's the 45.40 supply? It's 448.50. Right. Very clear. 448.50, 448.50. 448.50, and here we are again this morning at the exact same level, 448.50. So if you get a break and hold above 448.50 today, right, that's probably where I look for that upside, right? That's probably where I look for that upside, above 448.50. If we get a break and hold over this little, this key level rejection that's been coming in for the last week, that's 448.50. To the downside, you guys can see what held this morning. That's that 447 level, right? Look at this 447 level. 447, 447, 447 was an early morning rejection yesterday. And then look at this little break in the after hours, retest, right, and a hold. So 447, if we maintain above 447 on the SPY, I would not be looking to short this market, right? I don't think there's any reason to be shorting into the 50 SMA, right? I don't think there's any reason to be shorting into the 50 SMA on the SPY. So 50 SMA SPY, 447, I would not be shorting into that level. I would only short today if we break back below that level. Right? I think that makes it very easy for some of us, at least for me, it makes it easy for me. I don't care to catch this short, right? I know a lot of people feel like they need to trade every move on the market. This short is not a valid short. I don't care, I don't care, at least in my eyes. I don't short back into strong demand holds. And so this hold above the 50 today, the reclaim of the 50. I just don't have any reason to be trying to fight the market back into the 50 SMA. Why not only short if we lose the 50 SMA? Because then you know the shorts are going to pile in, and then you know you're on the right side of the market. So I'm not interested in shorting anything today unless you're under the 50 SMA, right? On the SPY, which is 447. That is the same thing as 4520 on the ES. I have no interest in shorting anything unless the ES is under 4520 today, right? Below this previous low, below this previous high, and below the pre-market low, right? Why try to short back in the pre-market low demand? I just don't have interest in that. Stay on the side of the market. NASDAQ. So what did we talk about yesterday? 15.6, right? Look what 15.6 is doing this morning. Look what 15.6 and the 50 SMA are showing us this morning. Right here, this pre-market, you can see the 15.6, 15.570 zone that we talked about. That is holding perfectly, right? You can see, look at that 50 SMA hold this morning. 5-minute chart, look at this. NASDAQ 5-minute chart. This was around 4:15 a.m. Eastern time. You slipped right to the 50. 50 wicked that thing right back up. So why are we shorting into the 50 SMA? You don't, right? There's no reason. I don't think you want to be shorting into that 50 SMA today. If you break back below it, if you turn it into rejections, then you look for that short side play, right? If you break back below the 50, you turn it into rejections, you turn pre-market lows into rejections, then you look for that slide back to maybe yesterday's lows, right? Towards that 20 SMA again. But without that, I don't see a reason to be looking the short side, right? The only reasons you would look for potential rejections is maybe you see a little bit of rejections at 15,650 right here, right? 15,650, a little bit of supply there. And then above that, 15.7 is your real mark to the upside. 15.7 is that real supply above. That's going to be big up there. If we do reach that level today, be careful of those rejections. 15.650, another big rejection point here. Watch out for that. And then again, the demand is very clear above that 50 SMA. So there's no end-of-day recap, Nardle. I'm pretty sure I already messaged you that. End-of-day recap is not there. It's no longer a thing. So you won't see it. 15.6, 15.570, 50 SMA. That's the area to watch. If we crack this level, right? Remember, you have to be open to both sides. If we crack this level and we reject either the 50 or we reject the 15.6, right? Those are definitely short opportunities, right? But you want to wait for it. Let's wait for it. Let's not try to front run it. Let's not try to guess, right? Let's just wait to see what happens here on economic data. Do we slip back below 15.6? Do we slip back below the 50? If we do, look for those retest rejections. And if we still hold it, right, then we have to be looking for that upside. QQQ. It's this 376 level, which has stayed valid for quite some time now, actually. Here's the QQQ. And so look at this hold at 374.75 here, right? Look how clear this is. See these previous highs? There's another previous high right there, right? There's another previous high. There's like a little bit of consolidation in this area. But look at this little hold here around this 375, 374.75 this morning, right? This little pullback hold right here on the QQQ. I like that watch, right? So that's sort of the watch there. 374.75, around that 375 level. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you can see this was both a rejection late day yesterday, right? Right there. It was a rejection early morning yesterday, and then it turned it into support here in the pre-market around this 374, 75, 375 level. So that's going to be a little intermediary level. That equals the 15.6 area on the NASDAQ, the 50 SMA area right here. Back on the QQQ, let me go to the hourly chart. This 376, however, is still a little bit of a problem for upside. If you guys are looking upside, this 376 is still a little bit of a problem. You guys can see right here, previous lows, right? Look at this rejection at 376, and look at the rejections even right now at 376. So this 376 on the QQQ still is showing me some struggle, right? So that really is the level. That really is the level that you want to see us get above for more upside. I am not going to increase my mic. My mic is within the yellow to red gain volume, gain level. And if I bring it any higher, you're going to start hearing clipping. So put your mic up. Put your volume up on your side. New York, I don't know if this is a scam or not a scam, a spam message that you continue to send. Great American, love to give feedback, so click like button. Thanks all. New York, I appreciate that if that's a legit message, but I don't know. It seems a little weird. Just keep on sending the same message. Let's, yeah. All right. So let's continue. 376, right? 376, that's your level. That's really sort of the line in the sand, in my opinion. I think we'll be able to reassess this in about 20 minutes. After economic data, we'll be able to sort of reassess to see, if we're able to see exactly what happens at this 376. That's going to be big. All right, so we'll reassess after economic data. YM, Dow Jones, channel, nothing going on. 35.1, right? 35.1 and 34.770. Again, that's a column, right? Give me a point. That's a point to user error. Here's another one, right? I'm up. What am I up now? I'm up 2-0. I'm going to keep this. I'm keeping track of this. That's it. I'm keeping track of it. Hold on. I'm going to put it, you see the screen right now? See where it says where that QR code is? I'm going to shrink that. I'm going to put user error and operator error. And right now, I'm up 2-0 on the chat. Okay? I'm up 2-0. All right, so you guys can see right here, 35.1, 34.770, Dow Jones channel. Really nothing to share with you there. We've been trading in a channel the whole time. Last one I got before we'll sort of kill 3 minutes here until economic data. Russell. The Russell actually sort of broke down, but I think it's still sort of just sitting here in this sort of demand zone, guys. I don't know. Russell's just not really doing much here. So I got nothing for you on the Russell. It's just sitting here. It's like, where did it hold yesterday? It held at like these extreme lows down here. So it held this extreme low, it held this extreme low, and it held that extreme low again around that 1850. So Russell, let's see what it looks like after this economic data, maybe to get a little bit more insight here. But I think the most important level of the day, guys, is 45.40 on the ES, in my opinion. This looks to be the most important level. Fabir, I'm happy to belong to your Discord community, and thank you very much for all the teachings. Muchas gracias. De nada, Fabir. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the $20 donation. Who's hotter, Rachel or Donna in suits? I got to go with Rachel, man. Please don't send the message again. You don't need to spam it. I would go with Rachel. I can't believe Rachel is a royal. Is she called? What is her actual? I'm not very good with my British information. What do they call? What is she considered? What is she called? Someone knows. What is it? Princess? Is she a princess? That's crazy, man. I can't believe it. So we got a minute till economic data here. So let's see what happens. They gave up their titles. So 45.40, in my opinion, is going to be your top watch here. 45.40 is going to be your top watch here. So let's see what happens here on the data. And let's see if we get any movement at this 45.40. All right. I got a double espresso and a red Solo cup today. Pretty good. Suits is a great show, man. Love Suits. All right. We're just sitting waiting for a second here. 20 seconds. Press that like button. We got 2,000 people in here again. Thank you guys for being here. We're waiting for the data. Get a little bit of volatility. We'll see what happens here. If you could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drum roll, please. Summer, summer, summertime. You know that song? Will Smith. Netflix 437. David. Yeah, David, that was a nice one. David must have caught it. What's that currency, David? I have no idea. I think it's like, I don't know what that is. Appreciate you, David. Appreciate you. And congrats on Netflix. All right, so it looks like you got a little bit of a rejection there. All right? Got a little bit of a rejection there, 45.40. Again, right now, not much meaning to this move. All right? Not much meaning to this move just yet. Let's go to the SPY. What do we got for the news? Jobless claims 220 versus 225, so pretty much as expected. Less jobless claims is... All right, guys, enough with the Duchess. I mean, how many... We're still going on about it in the chat. Let's give it up. All right, let's give it up. We're still going. It's over. All right, let's move on. We've been saying Duchess of this and that for like 20 minutes now. All right, PPI, higher than expectations. 0.7 versus 0.4 month over month. PPI, 0.7 versus 0.4 month over month. Jobless claims, 220 versus 225. Retail sales, 0.6 versus 0.2. So retail sales are higher month over month. Who needs a mute? Deshumbi. Keep your eyes open, man. We might have some work to do today, Deshumbi. Retail sales, 0.6 versus 0.2. So retail sales higher. PPI higher month over month. Jobless claims lower. All right? What's the reaction on the market? Right now, a meaningless reaction because we have not broken any key levels. This is going to be important here. Right here. This 50. This 50 SMA right here on the NASDAQ. This is going to be important. Let's get this. Let's get it thicker. Right there so you guys can see it. That yellow line right there is going to be very important today. You can see that right now. Oh my God, the ES is tanking. So 45.40 supply is still alive, right? We know that, right? We know that. That supply up there is still alive. NASDAQ, 50 SMA. That's going to be your watch, all right? This is what we're going to trade off today, it looks like. If we break below the 50 and turn it into rejections, that could be a very nice little downside move. If we maintain this 50, then we're not looking for short side, right? But we do need to be cautious on the upside of the 45.40, right? The 45.40. All right, so let's continue into some stocks. If you guys see anything crazy out there, let me know. If someone says, oh my God, we're tanking and the ES is still above 45.23, they're getting banned from the voice chat or banned from the live streams. All right. So here we go. Tesla 273. This has been a very difficult level for Tesla to get above. It's like this 270. You know what, man? I'm actually just going to play it safe here for myself, for my own sanity. I'm just gonna have this as an entire zone today on Tesla. I don't even want to, I don't feel like getting faked out of this. So the only way I look to long Tesla on a day trade today is over 275, right? You guys can clearly see that, right? 275, 275. Look at those rejections at 275, 275 right here. And so I really don't even want to look long on Tesla if it's under 275, right? Because I see rejections here on Monday. I see a rejection on Tuesday. I see a rejection on Wednesday. So why am I long Tesla, right? If it's a short-term day trade, right? Maybe I have a little bit of a longer-term idea here on Tesla, but if it's a short-term day trade on Tesla, we are not looking too long towards that 275 level, in my opinion. So this could be a little rejection play on Tesla today. If we do get downside on the market, that is definitely something to watch. This whole 273, 274 area, right? This whole area looks to be very heavy on Tesla. Sort of this whole upside area on Tesla definitely looks to be pretty heavy, right? We can see those rejections that have stepped in at that level. So to get upside on Tesla, I think you need to be over 275, right? That's very clear. Downside can come in off this red supply zone. And then to the downside, right? If you do trade Tesla downside, I would absolutely be a profit taker towards 266, right? This is not I'm short Tesla and it's going back to 2020 lows because Tesla's a piece of shit and I think it should go lower, right? That's not what this trade is. This is a Tesla supply rejection that could cause maybe a few points of downside that you could scalp back into demand lows, right? You have to understand that here. So if you do short a Tesla at this 274, 275, I would be a profit taker towards that 266, 267 demand lows. So keep an eye on that, all right? Nvidia. So Nvidia is still pretty stuck. You guys can see right here in the 30-minute chart. It's still stuck below this 20 SMA supply, still stuck below like this 463 area. Still very heavy supply above there. But there was a very key hold yesterday that I was interested in. You guys can see this on the 15-minute chart. Nvidia went from turning this 453 level from rejections, it turned it into support yesterday. So you guys can see right here, we had 453 support, 453 support, right? 453 rejections, 453 rejections. And then yesterday in the sort of middle of the afternoon, I'm going to go down to the 5-minute chart, right? Look at this little break and hold above this 50 SMA right here. So in my eyes, as long as Nvidia is back above this 50 SMA and back above this 453, I like that for maybe a build back towards the upside, right? However, it is very clear that the rejections are still very, very much there at this 463 area. So if Nvidia does push higher, right, if we do see any type of upside, I would say be careful of those rejections at this 463 level, right? That is definitely a rejection point up here. That's also the 20 SMA, and that's also this gap fill around this 466. So 463, supply gets heavy, right? It gets heavy up there, so watch out for that. And I would say as long as Nvidia is above the 50, things could hold on. Hota, say Netflix one more time. Say it one more time. That's not how we work here. I'm not going to, you're spamming the chat is actually, so just to let you guys know the way that I am, if this is your first time here, the more you spam something, the lower the opportunity of you looking at it is, okay? Just to let you know. 453, you guys can see right there, 453 right there. Rejections at 453. And yesterday, you can see that hold of 453. So today, I'm watching between 453 and 463. I'm watching that 10-point channel, and I'm keeping an eye to see what happens in there. All right? Apple weakness. This looks very weak on Apple. Look at this, right? This is very, very weak on Apple. Look at this right here. Apple. Previous lows, previous lows. Look at the rejections that are coming in now at 175. So if we see downside on the market, right? If we see NASDAQ under 50 SM, Sierra, here's Sierra. You see Netflix? If you see NASDAQ break below that 50 today, right? If you see NASDAQ break below that 50 today and you get NASDAQ weakness, I would be all over this Apple, right? I would be absolutely watching this Apple. If we see Apple reject this previous low, reject this 175 again, I like that a lot. And so this is definitely a watch for me today. You have maybe a little bit of support here at this yesterday's lows, 173.80. But if you break below that, right, and you start getting that weakness, Apple's been nothing but weak, and I will look for continuation here, depending, of course, on what the NASDAQ does today, right? Does the NASDAQ wick off this 50, which we are doing right now? And if so, then not really interested in Apple shorts. But if we get that NASDAQ downside confirmation today, I like this Apple rejection of 175 a lot. Yeah, this is a very clean rejection, even intraday yesterday. Look at that, 175, 175. So 175 is your watch on Apple today. Keep an eye on that. All right, into the sexiest trade of the week. Sexiest trade of the week right here. You just can't make up how beautiful this setup was. Let's pull it up. I know you guys, I'm sure you saw it yesterday in Desi TA, or if you're in the chart Discord, it's there as well. But here it is. I'm going to zoom in. That's not the zoom in button. That is. So we talked about this on the live stream as well, right? 1 hour retest of 140. If we see market upside, I absolutely look to long Amazon off this 140 level, right? Look at this chart. Break, retest, retest of previous highs, break, retest of previous highs, strong wick off that 140 as a demand, and the rest is history, man. Just a gorgeous break and retest, and you guys can see right here, we wicked off that 140 and we rallied. So really nice move there, and then not only 140, right? It wasn't only 140. What else did we hold, right? Look at this previous high right here. We didn't just hold the break and retest of this previous high. We held the break and retest of this previous high as well, 143.60. Right, look at this. If we zoom in here on the 15-minute, you guys can see break, retest, hold. Where are we holding above? We're holding right above those previous highs. Clean, man. Just clean price action on Amazon yesterday. You love to see that. That's the type of stuff you love to see, right? Just a perfect hold above previous highs. Couldn't have been cleaner. So today, as long as Amazon is above this high and holding these lows, right? I'm staying in any type of upside look, right? I will not look to trade downside on Amazon into these previous holds yesterday and this previous high here. If anything, if Amazon pulls back to that level, I will look for a re-entry long, right, to see if that holds again. So 143.60, very big level on Amazon today. As long as it's above that, I am staying bullish on Amazon. I'm still in a swing trade, and that's probably up a few 100% this morning. So really nice stuff there. Google, same thing. We talked about this one yesterday. Here it is. Once again, can't make it up. It's also in the live stream from yesterday. Google, watching 135 demand on Google. Nice watch for demand bounce if we see market upside. There it is, right? Yesterday, what did we do? We longed Google off 135 because that was part of the plan. A little bit of drama, right? A little bit of drama. It came with a little bit of drama. But look at those hourly candles off that 135 demand, right? 135 demand, 135 demand. And once again yesterday, 135 demand, leading to a beautiful upside move. A very consistent upside move pretty much all day, right off that 135. So we were in a little bit of drawdown on this trade, right? We were in a little bit of drawdown on this trade. And I was saying to the group, I actually have this recorded live. Maybe this is a good video for tonight. I was saying to the group, I'm staying in this trade as long as we're over 135. I'm not changing, right? You do not change your mind, right? If you enter here at 135.70 with the stop loss under 135 and then you exit it before 135 breaks because, oh my God, I'm down too much money, that is your own fault, right? You messed the trade up. You got into too much size. You got into a position you're not comfortable in, right? If you're entering here with a plan of holding until 135 breaks and then you exit here because you're down 20%, then you are either you're taking too much size, right? You're not comfortable in your trade. So I took a trade that I was comfortable with, right? I'm understanding that my stop is under 135. I'm not exiting this trade until you break under that level. I don't care what it does. I'm not exiting the trade until it breaks under 135. And so you can see it basically brought you to the limit. Google brought you to the limit. It brought you to the edge. And then the strong-willed, the comfortable traders, the ones that aren't freaking out about positions are the ones that the ones that profited on the trade, right? So beautiful 135 hold. You saw the demand hold step up at that 135. I was adding as I was seeing that hold, and gorgeous stuff, just trading technical levels. So today, 4 hour, right? Look at this. You're looking at the supply highs of that 138, 139 area. If you reject this 138, 139, possible downside back towards 135. If you get above this level, right? If you get above this level, then I like that upside, right? If you get above this 139 today, I like that upside. So definitely watching it. Yeah, but it almost stopped you out. Yeah, exactly. But it didn't, right? Because we watched the level. Of course it almost stopped me out. Almost every trade I take almost stops me out, right? The break and retest, you're going to have to live with a lot of almost stopped out trades, right? Because you're trading right at the retest level, right? So you got to really stay confident. You got to understand your levels. So Google 135, that's that nice trade. Watch the 139 today. Watch this 139 supply high. That's the level to watch today, right here. 139, 138 supply high. All right? Google, that's that. Let's go Meta and then Microsoft. Meta, 310. 310. Right here. You're back towards that 310, right? You're back towards that 310. This is going to be a big one today. 310. We rejected this previously back on Monday, right? You can see right here. We pushed towards that supply high. Tuesday, big drop below, right? We rejected it aggressively. Coming back into it slowly on Meta. That is going to be a major level to watch, in my opinion. This is a very large previous low here on the 4 hour at 310. And so I'm interested to see, is this a little slow grind into 310, right? And then a rejection of it? Or do we reclaim that 310? And if so, right, I think you can get that continuation, of course, on a strong market. So 310 Meta, that's definitely a watch today. Keep an eye on that level. The last one I want to go over today is Microsoft, because Microsoft's been pretty clean, actually, believe it or not. The levels have been very valid. So take a look at this on Microsoft. Yesterday, we had downside on Microsoft into that 330 demand, right? We talked about that one. 330 demand, 330 demand. Nice bounce off demand. Now, what did Microsoft do later day that was clean? It broke above 335 supply, right? 335 supply, and it turned it into a intraday support, right? Look at this. We had a rejection early morning at 335. We got above it. We held above it, right? And now we are maintaining over the 335 supply. So we held 330 demand. We reclaimed 335 supply. And now you are sitting at the final supply level here of this 338.60, 338.50. So today, Microsoft, right? If you get an upside move over this double top high, that is a very interesting potential long entry, right? If you see a break and retest over this double top high right here, that is a very interesting long entry. If you get any pullbacks, look for 335 demand, right? If you break 335 demand, look for move into 330. So just playing off these levels, right? You can see the only trades today. Where are the only trades valid? They're valid here or they're valid here. There's only two places to trade Microsoft today. It's either at the supply highs or at the 335 demand, right? There's no, I'm going to play Microsoft, right here, or I'm going to go long here, or I'm going to look to randomly short it right here. No, you play it either here or here. And if it's not there, you guys hear this all the time, trading is 95% patience, right? Why is that a thing? Why is that even true? It's because you have to wait for the actual trade to set up, right? Wait to see if Microsoft rejects this 338.50. Wait to see if demand holds down here at 335, right? Wait to see if anything sets up at your levels. If it's not at your level, it's not a trade, right? Pretty much for me, when I trade intraday, if I'm looking at a stock, right? Let's say I'm on the 2-minute chart. Let's say I'm on the 2-minute chart. And I do not, if I see a stock trading, like let's say, for example, what's a good example? Let's just use Microsoft, right? For example, if I'm looking at Microsoft on the 2-minute chart and I see it right here, right? Right in the middle of my red and green zone, I am automatically not interested in trading the stock, right? If I see Microsoft price action sort of chilling right here, and I see a red zone here that I have and a green zone here that I have, I am automatically uninterested in even thinking about trading this stock, right? But if I see Microsoft here, right, and I see it sort of holding this green zone that I have on my chart, then I'm like, okay, right? Maybe there's a trade here. Maybe there's a little demand hold, right? Or if I see Microsoft up here, maybe today, and I see it sort of rejecting a red zone, right? Then I'm saying to myself, okay, there might be a supply rejection here, and I have risk reward. But if I see a stock that's trading, in a black area without any type of level that I have near it, I'm automatically not interested, right? And so that's just sort of that being particular in the trades that you take. And look at what just happened. Wow. Wow. Yeah, there's your 50 SMA. There's your thick yellow line. You're welcome. Thick yellow line on the NASDAQ. Don't short into the thick yellow line, my friends. That is all that I will say today, and I will leave you with that. Do not short into the thick yellow line, and that is the 50 SMA. All right? Press that like button if you guys could. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I appreciate you guys. As always, being on the live streams, we've had 2,000 people in here the last 2 days. I know you guys, the ones that are here that aren't always here, I know you're going to drop off because you're just watching because it's CPI and PPI. It's always happening. But I challenge you to stick around. If you're just here because of the CPI, PPI, if you enjoyed the streams, which I think you did because you're still here, the numbers have stayed pretty consistent throughout the stream. I invite you to come back more often. We do this every single day starting at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. It's a good time, a little bit of drama here and there. I haven't been able to kick anyone out lately, but I'm itching for it, man. I'm itching. So hopefully we get some people coming in that I can throw out. I'm itching for it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you could. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Peace.
Yeah.